We've got a special interview for you this morning. She just released her first ever EP, Genesis, and has brought her culture to listeners who might not have heard it before. Joining us today live in studio is Joyce German, or as she's known on stage, INGIA. She's a South Sudanese Canadian jazz musician who blends African influences with jazz, R&B, and gospel. And on top of everything, she has a passion for arts advocacy with a focus on uplifting Black and underrepresented artists. Good morning, Joyce. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the new EP. Very exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What's the inspiration behind Genesis?
So the inspiration behind Genesis obviously ties to its name. It's the new beginnings of me. It's the new beginnings of my journey as an artist. It kind of goes through everything that I've learned since I was young up until now. Yeah, so that's kind of the inspo.
And it's got some family connections in there. I know that your
Yes.
parents are actually featured. How does that come to be?
Yeah, so my parents are a big part of my life, obviously. I wouldn't be here without them. And having them a part of the project was kind of like a tribute and a homage to everything that they've done. They've been so supportive with my musical journey. So
What does it sound like? Are they performing? Are they speaking? What role do they play?
So my mom is actually doing some background vocals on the last track of the EP, and then she's also has a voicemail in the beginning of one of my songs called INGIA, and then my dad also was reading a poem that I wrote, but in Arabic. So
Oh,
yeah,
gorgeous. Oh, that sounds super cool. What does it mean to now have this EP out here in the world?
it feels amazing. It feels great. It feels like something that I've been holding for a very long time. It feels really nice to just let it out in the world and to share it.
And you, besides your EP, you have lots of projects going on. It seems like a very busy person. What other projects are going along with the EP?
Yeah, so along with the EP, there is some behind the scenes footage that we're trying to get edited to kind of show the behind the scenes of everything. And then also there should be a short film coming soon as well.
Oh, incredible. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Now time for some music. It's a reminder here now to everyone listening at home on the radio. If you're at home and you can tune into YouTube, highly recommend it. You can watch the performance live. This is INGIA, accompanied by pianist Clement Sackey with her self-titled track, INGIA. Thank you so much. That is INGIA with her self-titled song, INGIA. Before we continue, I just want to talk about that song itself. It was you on the saxophone, your accompanist on the piano, but there was the percussion happening at the beginning. What instrument is that? I'm sorry, I'm going to make you pick it up again.
Yeah, I can pick it up again. So this instrument is kind of like, what do they call these? These are kind of like shells. It's kind of like auxiliary percussion. They're all tied together, kind of like a bracelet. It's easier for me to play with when I'm playing saxophone, so I just kind of put it on my wrist, and I just kind of put it like that. For me, I like these because I feel like it resembles some of the sounds that you might hear kind of like in the village. Back home, there might be some rain sticks and stuff like that kind of mimic the rain. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to make it kind of like an experience. Yeah.
I love the sound of it. It does kind of mimic that rain sound a little bit.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. So that song, it's called INGIA. What does that name mean to you? What's the story behind the name INGIA?
So the story behind INGIA is actually my middle name.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's my grandmother's name from my dad's side. It's been a name that is not legally like on my papers, but it's just my grandmother's name. It means joy, and it's in the tribal language from where I'm from in South Sudan. And then I thought about it being my artist name, so that's why I was like, oh, why don't I make it my artist name? And then I wanted to make it something to kind of just like resemble and to show all my values and the cores that I like to carry with me when I'm playing music. So I created an acronym out of it as well. So it's intentions, nurture, gratitude, inspiration, and amplify. And that kind of tied it all together for it to be my artist name.
Gorgeous. So many different things tying you to your culture and your roots. What is it? How does jazz music in particular? Because you're professionally trained as a jazz musician, and now you're bringing these two parts of yourself together.
Yeah.
How does jazz music help you kind of connect to that culture?
Yeah. So I feel like growing up, I didn't really know much about jazz, but it wasn't until I got into school, and I think it was middle school, where I finally had my first interaction with jazz, and I realized that this was something that I just needed, and I really like the history behind it, and I like how it has such rich and deep roots, and it kind of helped me connect to my own deep and rich roots as well. And I feel like it's just a beautiful genre with so many different subgenres, so I feel like there's so much room for you to kind of explore your own identity through the music.
And you do a lot of advocacy work in the arts, especially for young Black musicians out there. What message do you have for folks out there who might have been like you, are in school kind of exploring and getting to know a new musical genre? What advice would you have for them?
Yeah, the advice I would have is just to keep going. I know there was a lot of times where I felt like I was kind of alone and I felt like I couldn't really keep going. But I just kind of pushed and persevered, and I feel like that's something I like to tell people, to just keep going, even if it feels weird. At some point, you're going to feel grounded and comfortable in where you are.
Where did that pure perseverance come from? Where did the inspiration come from?
Yeah, that's, I feel like it's just the people you surround yourself around, like, my friends, family, everybody. So I felt like with their support and them coming to show out to gigs and stuff like that and coming to play, and even singing some of the songs that I came out with recently, it's just so heartwarming. Yeah.
So the next song you're going to play is Resonance of Identity. Can you tell us a bit about that song before we head into it?
Yeah, so actually Resonance of Identity was the one we played first, but...
Pardon me,
sorry about that. No, it's okay.
Good. I wrote it down wrong.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
So the first one is Resonance of Identity.
This next one is INGIA.
And this next one is INGIA. Okay.
But Resonance of Identity is another thing about how I was talking about how going through my journey of figuring out who I am, being born in Canada, but having roots to South Sudan and kind of getting to know where I'm from, that has a resonance in it. And then I kind of resembled it with the saxophone, how there's so much resonance in the horn when you play. When you first get that first note in a big church, there's so much, like resonance to it. And that was the first time that we actually performed the song was in Knox United Church. So it was just like, it solidified everything together. And it's just kind of the resonance that it is of finding your identity.
Lovely. And then, so INGIA, we're about to hear it. What should folks be thinking about when they're listening?
Yeah, INGIA is more about like my journey and myself and just kind of finding my way, even though you might feel a little bit lost and you don't know where to go. I find that INGIA gives me comfort in finding that there's always going to be a way, there's always going to be hope, there's always going to be something that's going to go well. Yeah.
Well, really looking forward to hearing this one. This is INGIA with INGIA.
Thank you.
Where do I go from here? 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 Lost in the darkness, my heart is filled with fear. Wandering through shadows, my hope will still appear. A peace to sound, but I know with all this turmoil I search for ground. I trust the unknown, holding on to faith, embracing this path unseen. Every step that I take, I'll find my way. I'll find my way. Where do I go from here? I ask with every tear. Through this storm, I'll find my way. I know there's light somewhere. It's deep within my spirit. My worries disappear.
That was Joyce German, or as she's known as INGIA. She was accompanied by pianist Clement Sackey. Thank you. She just released her first ever EP. That was a song off of Genesis. You can find it on all streaming platforms. And she's also performing at Soul Supreme Fest next Saturday and is taking part in the Forks Summer Concert Series on Friday, August 29th.